this is Willow.
Yeah.
So apologize, I might have her on my lap a little bit during the class. She's only 6 months old, so she's just getting used to me doing things. But we'll all get started, and you are welcome to sit in a chair as we move through our practice today. If you prefer to sit on the floor, you're welcome to do that. We're never gonna like lay down on the floor, except maybe at the very end. But we will stand up a little bit and use the chair for support or even a wall for support. And if you know you like to have additional props, or if you get cold or warm, just make sure you have everything within hands reach so you don't have to go hunt for it during our practice. So as you start to get settled, if you are in a chair and if you're able to kind of sit in the chair in a way that your feet can be flat on the floor, that is helpful. If the floor is too far away, you can always slide like a blanket or a block or really anything under your feet just to make your legs a little bit longer and make the floor a little bit closer to you. So you're welcome to start to close your eyes. Feel those feet rooted and grounded in the ground or whatever you have beneath them. And you're welcome to close your eyes or even just soften through your gaze. Allow your hands to rest wherever is comfortable. Maybe that's on your lap, maybe the palms are face up or face down. Start to soften the shoulders away from the ears. Relax through the jaw. We'll start to tune in with the body. Maybe you just woke up and are just getting started with your day. Maybe you've been up for a while and have already worked or commuted or just gotten a lot of things done. It doesn't matter if you slept until right now or if you've been doing stuff all morning. We all have our different productive times. But just start to check in with the body. Maybe invite a little scan all the way from the crown of your head to your toes. And just allowing that scan to create awareness. Trying your best to remove any judgment of what you might be feeling in your body. And just noticing and observing. Perhaps by just pausing and observing, your breath most likely naturally just starts to get a little bit longer, and that might feel really noticeable for you. It might be really subtle. Just beginning to notice your inhales and your exhales. It feels helpful as you breathe to either just as you inhale, think to yourself, inhale. And as you exhale, think to yourself, exhale. That can help just bring our focus and attention to where we are. Begin to take a few more rounds of breath, a few more moments here, just pausing and arriving and settling. Feeling that final breath here. You're not going to stop breathing, but we're just going to start to add a little bit of movement. And of course, anything I give you, anything I offer over the next little less than an hour is all optional. You take what you need. If I offer something that doesn't feel good in your body, you're always welcome to find stillness or just allow your body to instinctively move you where you want to go. You know, when we like want to do that stretch when we get out of bed, we're not really thinking about doing that. Our body is just telling us that's what we need in that moment. So feel free to do what you need this morning. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed, or you can soften the gaze or gently open them wherever you feel safest and most comfortable. And just allow your arms to come by your side. Just let them dangle, and you might even kind of shake them out a little bit. So trying to let go of feeling like you're trying to hold the arms in a certain way, just really letting them dangle. They're not going to fall off, I promise. And then maybe just start to roll the shoulders a little bit. They can move together, or maybe you're moving one at a time. You can be really subtle with the movement and take little circles, or you can be really dramatic and make them as big as possible. You can even bring the arms into it. That's kind of helping the shoulders move back. Just beginning to break up some of the tension at the tops of the shoulders and the neck. I know I often sleep a little funny, so my neck can be a little tighter in the mornings. And then go the other direction if you haven't already. And again, you can always adjust that movement. So even though we're doing a similar movement, we're moving in a different direction. So our body might need different things. A couple more breaths here, a couple more moments. And then again, just kind of let the arms dangle and hang and let go of effort. So it's always easier said than done. But if you feel yourself holding on a lot at any point, you can always just add a little bit of movement and see if you can almost shake off that tension. And then just start to bring your right ear to your right shoulder. The ear is not going to touch the shoulder. And we're not trying to force it down. We're just letting the head fall to the side. And your left arm is dangling, or you can start to just bring your left hand almost like you're going to tuck the hand just right behind your low back. It's just going to change a little bit of the rotation of the shoulder and the structure. And it doesn't have to be like all the way to the other side. It can literally be like on your hip, and maybe you're just kind of resting the arm there, or maybe you're trying to tuck it a little bit behind you, like you're going to scratch your low back. And you might keep that right arm continuing to dangle, or you can rest it back on your leg. And you're welcome to stay here and keeping the nose forward, or start to turn the nose down to the right. So you're still keeping the head towards the right, but you're just adding a little bit of a rotation with the neck. Again, this is going to be a little bit different for everyone about how far you want to go. And also, it's going to be different from day to day. So maybe yesterday you could do it really intensely, and maybe today you're just being really subtle, or the opposite. Just one more breath with that nose tilted. And then bring the head back to center. If you had that left arm tucked, you can release it and bring the head back up and just pause in the middle. Just observe what's going on in the body, maybe observing your right side to your left side. And when you're ready, let the left ear come to the left shoulder. And again, you're just kind of letting the head drop, hang wherever it's going to land. Your arms can dangle by your side. Of course, same option. Maybe bringing your right hand gently behind your back. Reconnect to your breath. Reconnect to your focus. We can sometimes control the noises and the things going on around us, and sometimes we can't because they're happening outside of our spaces. I at least think sometimes that's the hardest thing, is to try to ignore and let go of the things that are going on outside of the space that I really can't control, that I really can't stop, even if they feel distracting or disruptive to what I'm doing or how I want to feel in that moment. And maybe you start to tilt the nose towards the left. Sides are totally different. So I always say have a little memory loss from one side to the other. They often need different things. Few more rounds of breath here. Just nice and slow. Start to turn the nose back to center. Bring your head up. If you've had that arm tucked, untuck the arm. We've been sitting for a little bit already, so feel free to kind of just rock the body, move the body in any way that feels good. And then let's reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And take a twist over to the right. Now, we don't have to take this massive twist here. It can be just a little bit, but just feel like you're trying to lengthen the crown of the head and reach the crown of the head to the sky, and then rotate just the spine. So feel that movement coming from the center of your back. You can let the hands rest on the right leg just to help you twist. You can even use your chair if you're in your chair. If you're seated on the floor, you can always put your hands on the floor. We're not going to stay, just one more breath. I mean, we're going to stay for a minute, but not stay for a long time. And then start to come back to center. Maybe the arms reach up to the sky. If that doesn't feel good on your shoulders, then just ignore me and do something else. We're just gonna twist over to the other side. Sides are totally different. Focus on the length of the spine. Feel like I'm gently pulling the crown of your head just to encourage that spine to get a little bit taller. And then feel a gentle rotation from the spine. So again, you might not go as far. And sometimes when we're focusing on that length, we're not actually getting as far in our twist as if we were just kind of going into the twist. So it's interesting to notice how we move really impacts where we can go. Just last breath here. And come all the way back to center. And then just start to lean over to the right. Now you can reach the hand towards the floor. You can hold on to the bottom of the chair. You can reach the left arm up overhead if you want. Sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. So today I'm just going to bring my hand to my hip. I'm trying to keep that nose pointing forward. So I'm trying to still keep that spine in one line, even though I'm going to add a little bit of a side bend. Come all the way back to center and over to the other side. I want to feel like I'm trying to just create a little bit of extra space in my right side body. Like I'm trying to lift away from my hip bone and expand my rib cage just a little bit. Come all the way back to center. And bring your hands to your hips. We're going to move the spine in one more direction and come towards that cat-cow. So you can keep your hands on your legs, or you can even bring your hands to your hips, or you could do the YMCA, whatever. Whatever you want to do with your arms really works for me. We're just going to focus on the movement of the spine, rounding the spine almost like someone is gently poking you in the belly button. Feel like you're trying to create as much space in the back body as possible. You can be really over dramatic with it. And then start to open the heart, close off the back body, and then open up the front body. So find that full expansion in the front body. It's gonna feel a little different. You can keep your head moving with you, or you can always keep your gaze forward. And then find that cat stretch round the spine. And I invite you to take a few more on your own. So you're welcome to pick up the pace and go a little bit faster or go a little bit slower. And we're getting our spine moving in all 6 directions that it can go, which is what we're doing here. We've got that flexion and extension. We did our lateral movements from side to side and that twisting rotational movement to each side. So if you're ever sitting for a long time, which I presume most of us are, or many of us are, trying to just remind our body and our telling ourselves to move that spine in these 6 directions. So whatever that looks like for you might help relieve some of the sitting that we do all day, especially in our back. All right, we're going to come back to center. Any movement you want here. We're going to come to stand. We're going to get off of the chair because we've been there for quite a while. Now you're welcome to use the chair as your support. Or you can always come to a wall or whatever, wherever feels really good. My feet are flat on the ground. You don't need to see my feet, so it's totally fine. And you can have one hand on the chair or you can have both hands supported, yogi's choice. And then just kind of start to feel the weight shift from side to side. Feel the weight go all the way into the left foot, all the way into the right foot. And most likely one way feels more comfortable because whether we realize it or not, we often tend to rely on one side of our body more than the other. Like for me, whenever I'm standing, because I've got injuries and stuff down my left side and my left leg, I always kind of just sit and lean into the right side. So my left leg doesn't have to do any of work because it is a little weaker. So I have to remind myself to try and go to the left side every once in a while. So I want you to start to just find your center of gravity. So if you tend to lean into one side more, it might feel a little awkward, but I want you to, as you play a little that rock from side to side, try to find a little bit of an equal pressure in the feet. So that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel like equal pressure from the right side to the left side. Feel all four corners of the feet push down. So the base of the pinky toe, the base of the big toe, the inside of the heel, and the outside of the heel. Feel the feet really grounded and rooting. It doesn't matter if the legs are together or apart, you're standing in a way that feels comfortable for you. And then I want you to feel like you're putting a coat on and you're going to start to zip it up, but you have to suck in the belly just a little bit to get that. And it's not a sucking, it's more of a just engaging of the belly. So I want you to feel like you're trying to corset the ribs together. I like the analogy, you may not, of the coat where you're zipping it up. So I'm just kind of reminding everything to stay engaged, which might feel like a lot of work because we often don't, and that's okay. I don't. So keeping that awesome strength with the core, shift all of your weight into the right foot, and then just start to lift the left knee up towards your chest. Now that lift up towards your chest might literally just be like toes on the ground, or it might be just kind of floating a little bit. But I want you to feel that lift and that engagement coming from the hip flexor. And maybe it stays pretty low, the floor is right there to support you, or maybe it starts to come up a little bit higher. I'm not gonna ask anyone to grab a ruler or anything to measure. This is a little bit about balance, but it's also about this hip flexor strength, which can often feel pretty weak because as humans, we sit. Notice if as you hold, one, it's much harder to hold than to move. But if there's any part of your leg, whether it's the lifted leg or the standing leg, that almost starts to feel like it's getting tired. And you can always adjust the height of the leg. But you might also sit for a moment in that tiredness, in that discomfort. And wherever you're at, just let the leg go down. And try to avoid shaking it off or doing any movement. Just observing. And before we come into the other side, we'll just start with that little sway from side to side. The sway might feel a little different. It might not. And allow all of the weight to shift into the left foot. Forget what just happened. on the first side. And then maybe that right foot starts to lift and feel like the knee is trying to come towards the chest. So we're not just kind of letting the foot kick back. We want to really focus on that lift from the hip flexor. And again, it doesn't matter how high it goes. Maybe you're kind of playing with it a little bit, seeing where you want to pause. Don't forget about your breath. Don't forget about your coat that you've put on to engage the core. It's just one more breath. And just let it all go. Shake it out. So just pause for a moment. If it feels okay, you're welcome to close your eyes. If you close your eyes, you might feel like you're kind of swaying a little bit in the wind. That's okay. That's just your body, your brain trying to tell your body to find that balance. And just take a moment and pause. Your eyes can be open or closed. You're in charge. You decide. And just like we did sitting, we're going to reach our arms up to the sky as far as they want to go. It doesn't matter if the elbows are bent anywhere. And then you can leave your arms up high, or you can bring the hands down and just lean over to the right. And as you do that, notice if the hips are trying to push out to the left away from you, or if they're trying to stay in line. I want you to feel like the hips are trying to stay over the feet and you're leaning from the spine. Stretching into the ribs here, a little bit into the lower back muscles, the outer hip. Come back to center and over to the other side. Again, your arms are welcome to be up overhead, or you can have your hands on your hips. You feel like you're trying to create a little bit of space, or maybe even a lot of space. And come all the way back to center. And then just start to almost like march the feet. So I want you to still feel like you're trying to pull the knees into the chest, just like when we were holding, but you're just kind of almost like the floor is hot and you're trying to keep the feet on the floor for as little time as possible. Focus on that lift to center. And then as the right foot comes down, the floor is not hot anymore. Let the left knee come in towards the chest. And now we're gonna add a little bit of a rotation. And again, you can ignore me, or you can bring the knee over to the side. And you can do that a couple of times, kind of bring it out and in and out and in. And then maybe at some point when the knee comes out, you just allow the foot to rest on the right leg, standing leg. So maybe you're on the calf, or maybe the toes are on the ground and you're just letting that foot rest on the ankle. Feel like you're trying to hug the right hip in, so you're not leaning into that right side. You've got the chair or a wall for support. Think tall through the spine. Zip up your coat. find your breath. Just one more, lots of balance. And then place the foot back on the ground. Come back into that little march. Let the knees come back to center. And then you'll eventually let the left foot pause on the ground. Let the right knee come in. And the come in doesn't matter. Like, we're not trying to rocket it. We're just lifting it up, feeling that engagement with the hip flexors. And then maybe you go a little bit out to the side and a little in. So you're working the strength of the leg. So if this feels challenging, that's totally fine. I can feel my hip flexor working, the top of my thigh working. And then maybe at some point you eventually place the foot on the leg or the toes on the ground. We're not necessarily trying to find our deepest versions of any of these shapes. We're just noticing what our body needs in this moment, inviting a little bit of play in the body, letting the weight shift from one side to the other, engaging and then releasing. Last breath here, wherever here is. And place the foot back down. And maybe finding that little sway, the little rock from side to side. Before we come to sit down, we'll do one more thing standing up. I know my head is cut off. Sorry, guys. Oh, you'll hear it in a moment. I'm going to face my chair. I'm going to keep my hands on the chair, and I might even bring my forearms onto the chair. But I'm just going to start to walk my feet back and feel like I'm almost coming into this upside down L. So you can have the hands on the chair if you want a little bit more length, if you have a little bit more length, or you can always rest your forearms and maybe even rest your head. We're not trying to get the head below the heart. We're trying to just keep it more in line, but still saying that if you do not like the feeling of that in your body, just come a little bit out of it, lean on the chair, and just focus on keeping the heart above the head. And then I want you to focus wherever you're at, like you're trying to pull the hips away from the chair. But I'm not forgetting my coat. I want to have that subtle engagement through the core. I can always have a little bend into my knees. I want to feel a really strong foundation with my legs, but almost feel as if my upper body is being stretched and pulled as much as it possible. Connect with your breath. Try not to lose it. And nice and slow, wherever you are, start to walk your feet back to your chair. If before we sit back down, there's anything that your body is wanting to crave here, your body will tell you what it needs. If there's like a stretch that it's wanting, go ahead and find that and take that. And then as we arrive back in our chair, find that connection of the feet with the ground or with something under it to bring the ground closer to your feet. Sometimes that need for something underneath your feet is because of the chair itself, and sometimes it's because of the length of your legs. I'm in kind of a tall chair, so my feet are floating a little bit today, so I need a little extra support. Allow your hands to rest wherever's comfortable. And feel an engagement and an activation through the spine. But I don't want you to feel like you're working your absolute hardest. You can soften into it a little bit. And if you're not sure what that means to soften into it, I want you to come into that engagement. So feel like there is a string at the top of your head. I'm gently lifting it up to lengthen the spine. But then instead of staying here, instead of keeping my coat zipped, I'm gonna just unzip it a little bit and just allow my body to relax. I'm still a little bit engaged. You're on a chair, so you're gonna wanna have a little bit of engagement so we don't have any rolls or falls. But I wanna try to find the least amount of effort as possible. And that will look different for everyone. Just a couple rounds of breath here. Just allow your body to settle and pause. And wherever you're at, just allow the hands to relax. Maybe you turn your palms up to the sky. This often symbolizes just kind of inviting a little bit more in. If I said that and you're like, that's not what I want today, you can place the palms down. So that's not saying you're closing off. It's just saying you just are looking for a little bit more grounding today. You're welcome to lean back a little bit in your chair. I'm going to take you through a body scan. So you are 1,000% welcome to stay in your chair and pause here. Close your eyes. If that doesn't feel really supportive today for any reason, and it feels okay in your body, you are welcome to come down to the floor, of course. But I don't want you coming down to the floor if you're not going to be able to get back up. So the chair is probably going to be the best place for most of us today, but just know that you can go wherever you need. And also, as I take you through it, know that you can change. So where you start now, if in a few minutes your body is like screaming at you, please change and adjust. And as always, you're welcome to close your eyes, or you can just find a little softness through your gaze. And take a full breath in through the nose, the biggest breath you can take in. And then sigh it all the way out. Nice. Inhale through the nose. Be really dramatic as you exhale. Exhale, sigh it all the way out. One more nice inhale. And exhale, sigh it all the way out. You're obviously going to still breathe. If that felt really good and you want to take a couple more, go for it. As I guide you through, you are welcome to listen to my words, or if it's just not feeling right for you today, you can also just focus on the breath. Focus on inhale and exhale, or maybe you even count the breath. So just a couple of other options if my words are not resonating. So as you take your next inhale in, when you exhale, feel like you're trying to push the air all the way through every inch of your body. Just begin to notice and observe and become aware of your head, your torso, your arms, your legs, your feet, and your toes. Bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet. Maybe taking a breath in and a breath out. Noticing the toes and the tops of the feet. And the ankles. And as I call awareness to each piece of your body, you might just say, hey, there's my ankle, there's my toes. You might breathe into it. You might notice how that part of your body feels today. Is it achy? Is it soft? And then bringing that awareness back to the feet and the ankles. And the shins and the calves. And the backs of the knees. And the kneecaps. And the thighs. And the backs of the legs. And just bringing awareness to the whole right leg. The whole left leg. Noticing your hips, front of the hips, sides of the hips, your glutes, your lower back, your belly. Your middle back, your upper back, the front of your chest, feeling your whole torso, front, the back, the right side, the left side. Your shoulders, your upper arms, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, your fingers, your whole right arm, your whole left arm. Your neck, the front of your throat, and the back of your head, all the muscles of the face, and your ears, your jaw, and the crown of your head. Feel your whole body, all the way from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. Noticing and observing. And taking these last few minutes of class to pause where you are. Allow your body to feel and notice your practice, your movement, that increased scan and awareness. Letting the intention around your breath go. Letting the intention of your engagement and awareness go. are, just slowly start to bring some awareness back into your body. And maybe that awareness is simply just taking a breath. And in your own way, in your own time, maybe start to invite a little bit of wiggles in the fingers and the toes. Be mindful that you're on a chair. Maybe add a little movement up the head and the shoulders. Just so gently waking the body up. And bring your hands into your heart center. Thanking yourself for making it to your practice today, for your body, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.